I would like to condemn, in no uncertain terms, the Hudak proposal to attach GPS monitoring devices to individuals on the sex offender registry. This proposal would mean some 13,000 individuals electronically tracked by our government. Now, first of all, if these individuals are in fact a danger to our children, it begs the question, why are they not in jail? Obviously, child rapists must be dealt with extreme harshness. There's no possible justification for these actions. Condemn. But many of the individuals on this list may be guilty of much lesser offenses than rape. Read an article by one of them who was convicted simply of kissing an underage girl. Certainly questionable and deviant, perhaps, but not on the same scale as a child rapist. So the danger, I think, with this proposal is what it means for the future of the surveillance state and your right to privacy in our society. Already we have the government monitoring public places with video cameras, and owing to the terribly foolish war on drugs, we routinely have police not only listening in on our phone conversations, but also bugging our homes, surveilling us, following people. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the role of government in a free and open society, and what role should the police play in the society? Now, some would have you believe that the role of government, the role of police, is to ensure that we all conform to some particular moral standard. And certainly that must be the role of police. But the question is, what moral standard? Because making people not murder is upholding to a moral standard. But do we want it to be the role of government to make us be better people, to make us make right decisions? Or should the role of government be simply to protect property rights, to defend individuals against aggression, but not to attempt to shape our values in terms of what we eat, what we ingest, things we do that don't involve violence towards others? Should, for example, certain types of food may be considered unhealthy. Should it be the role of government to dictate to us what we can eat or what we can't eat? Well, of course not. But where else can you justify, say, prohibition of marijuana or other drugs, or even, you know, the incredible amount of resources the government puts forth into telling people, you know, simultaneously drink and don't drink, or, you know, not to smoke. And I say simultaneously because the LCBO advertises, yet we also have, you know, heavy campaigns telling people not to smoke. And that's so telling of government that, you know, frequently you've got areas of the government that are actually fighting each other. So we're paying for something to be done and undone. But I'm really digressing here. I'm getting off topic. So I think that it's very dangerous to have the government all of a sudden tracking 13,000 people within the province, and I think that this is the direction our society is heading in, to the state having more and more power over us, to the police having ever wider powers. So I condemn Hudak's proposal to attach ankle bracelets to people on the sex offender registry. And I think we do need to look at legal reform. Particularly, of course, we need to eliminate this idea of victimless crime. We need to end prohibition of drugs. We need to do away with certain laws governing the behavior of individuals in financial markets are another example of victimless crimes that aren't actually crimes, and in fact are actually, you know, entrepreneurial activities. And of course, we need to do away with the idea that someone can be thrown in jail for not paying taxes. That's another victimless non-crime. There are no crimes against society. There are only crimes against individuals. And on the other end, if there are, you know, dangerous child rapists, they should never be released from jail. They should be, I think, exiled. Would be one idea. The whole concept of incarceration it's somewhat foolhardy in that you're actually punishing the victim of aggression twice. First, you have, you know, the crime, but then you have the state stealing money from the victim for the dubious pleasure of watching the criminal be apprehended and punished. So the focus of our legal system should not be on punishment or rehabilitation or even revenge. It should be on restitution for the victim. So, you know, basically, you would have, you know, maybe a monetary payment from so if somebody assaults you, you would have the right, if they beat you up, you have the right to assault them back, you know, rather more than they attacked you, or you could have them pay you, say, you know, whatever amount to avoid your just beating in return. So I think that there's a lot of need for reform in our society, in our legal system. I think that Hudak's proposal is going in the wrong way towards the surveillance state, the police state, and I think we have to be ever careful about encroachments on our personal and civil liberties.